Welcome to Accelerate Your Wealth, a podcast by Rebecca Robertson, founder and director of Evolution Financial Planning. This series, we're focusing on female financial independence, looking towards a stronger financial future. Be sure to let us know your thoughts on the show, and please do connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn or Instagram, or head over to www.rebeccarobertson.co.uk.
Hey, it's me again. It's Rebecca, and I'm here to deliver the 5 mini sessions from my podcast. All are on my challenge that's coming up called The Next Level. This is session 4. We're talking about day 4 of the challenge, which is managing your cash flow for your personal business. So for business owners, you have sole traders, you have limited company. If you're a limited company, you pay yourself a salary, usually then a dividend, and that goes into your personal account. That pays for all your personal bills and has nothing to do with your business expenses. As a sole trader, I know I'm teaching some of you how to suck eggs, but I know I'm setting the obvious, but I'd like to put a context to the conversation. The sole trader has, sometimes they don't separate their business and their personal. They have all their revenue coming into one account, all their business expenses going out of one account, and all their personal expenses going out of one account. That in itself is a no-no. Always have a separate sole trader business account and a sole trader personal account, so that you can exactly see how much is a business expense. All the outgoings should be on there. It shows you more clearly what's left over, and then you pay yourself effectively a salary from the profits of that business, hopefully on a monthly basis. Then when you do your tax return, you can see all the transactions in one place, and you haven't got to pick through what is personal and what is business. So then we're left both individuals with a personal account with their personal money in it. It's nothing to do with their business. It's profits or revenue or salary that they have been paid from their business. So how do you start paying yourself? How do you start managing that cash flow, and how do you start then saving for that next holiday or upsize your family home? So in the challenge, we're going to be on day 4, we're going to be talking about this, and we're going to be talking about what things you can start to do to give your money a job, to allow yourself the space to put systems and things in place to mean that it then just, it happens without you having to think about it too much. There's lots of different apps, there's lots of different softwares that you can use. But first and foremost, before we get into that, what we have to consider is, what is the next goal? So is your goal by the end of the year to have absolutely nothing left in the bank and nothing to show for it? Probably not. But for a lot of people, that's the reality. Now, we do have at the moment very high inflation. We do have a potential another bank base rate increase. And we are in a situation where some people are a little bit worried that we might go into a recession. That is being talked of. So when I talk about managing your money and what that next level might look like, I completely respect, for a lot of people, there's some real struggles going to be around the corner. And I hope that's not you. I hope that's not me. I hope I live in the positive side of life where it will all work out and everyone will be okay. Well, I hope that everyone will be okay. And that includes myself. So, but what we have to do, there are things that we can do to manage that risk, and there are things that we can do to alleviate some of that stress. Now, for some of you who are in a situation where you are having to go to food banks, you are having to go into debt management schemes for your gas and your electric, and there are some, in a really, really tricky situation. My heart really does go out to you. There's so many of us that are blessed, and they won't ever have a clue of what that's really like and what that feels like. But you are no less than anybody else, just to say, there's nothing shameful, wrong in any of that doing whatsoever. You've got to do what you need to do to survive. But so this session isn't necessarily for you guys. I would encourage you to go back to making more money and put your energy into making more money than worrying about every little penny and spending every penny. So sometimes you can spend 2 or 3 hours a week worrying about spending £5, whereas if you spent those 2 or 3 hours a week about how you could make £500, you're more likely to make five, maybe even only if you made £100. That's better than having to worry for those hours about spending a fiver, if that makes sense. And I mean being on hold to electric companies or ringing up, changing your providers of something. Yes, they're good things to do, but they're time consuming, right? So sometimes it's like, okay, actually, how can I go make more money? Because that solves all the problems. We talk about make, manage, and multiply. And when you start to go into the manage phase, you need to make sure your make is doing what it needs to be doing. That it's a phase of business. You're making the money, you're managing the money, you're multiplying the money. You want to be making sure that the make phase is allowing you to make enough money. Okay, so if you're not making enough money, then that's what you need to go and do first. When it comes to managing the money, then yes, manage it with like a pro. If you need to get help to do that, whether that's family or your PA, then that's equally just as good. Or sometimes it's just a case of getting organized and having the right checklists and things in place. So what's the goal? Do you want to get to the end of the year and have nothing to show for it? Very unlikely. So what is it with your personal money that you need to be considering? What job do you need to be giving? So for many of us, what we end up doing is we spend ad hocly. We spend on things that maybe we don't necessarily, we want at the time. It gives us joy at that time, but it doesn't necessarily give us joy, bigger picture stuff, right? So that is that's what we're going to be talking a little bit more in the challenge. And we're also going to be talking about how you can start putting things in place to organize that. And it's a challenge. So there's going to be things for people to go away and actually do. And there'll be different things for different people, because that subject in its own is about a 3 or 4 week course, which is obviously coming. If you can imagine, right? I'm doing a challenge. I've got a Facebook group or a masterclass coming up. I've got a course or program coming, right? And if you've got to, what day are we talking about? Day 4 of this podcast, and you've listened to day 1, 2, and 3. Now you're listening to day 4. You know that I know what I'm talking about. And if my challenge is going to be good, my course is going to be awesome. So to join this challenge, all you need to do is you need to go to the link below and register. You're coming to my Facebook group, which is where I'm running the challenge. It's on Monday, the 6th of June. And then the masterclass is on the evening of Monday, the 13th. I'm super excited. I haven't done these challenges for absolute ages, and I'm really looking forward to helping some of you really scale, or the next level. I don't like the word scale. Leverage your position and look at what your next level might look like. So come and join me. Come and say hello in my Facebook group. And I'd love to know any questions that you might have. And I'll make sure I cover them as best as I can, either in my masterclass or in the challenge. Lots of love and take tremendous care, and I'll see you on the other side.